What is up, guys, and welcome back to the vlog. Today is an exciting day. Not only are we making amazing progress on the Eclipse for SEMA, but we're gonna be picking the winner for our 2020 Toyota Supra wide body sweepstakes. We're gonna be announcing the winner in just a second. So I know a lot of you guys might be asking, how are we gonna top the Supra giveaway? What is throtl going to be giving away next? We're just pulling up to the shop here. I've got it all set up inside. You guys ready to see it? Here we go. All right, here we go. It's time to introduce you guys to our next official throtl sweepstakes. It is the fastest car we've ever given away, and I am so excited to change someone's life by giving this car away to them free and clear. So here we go, let me show you. Introducing the throtl 2010 Nissan GTR sweepstakes. This one's gonna be ending right before the end of the year. This car made 630 horsepower to the wheels, and we haven't even started the build yet. It is officially starting today. We have a ton of parts over there for this car and a lot more on the way. So just hang tight, subscribe to the channel if you wanna see a full GTR build. Remember, every $1 you spend on our website right now is one entry to win this thing. It is so much fun to drive, and it's gonna be one of yours. All right, let's go inside and we're gonna pick the winner for the 2020 Supra sweepstakes right now. Here we go, the moment you guys have been waiting for. Inside this envelope here, we have the official winner. You can open it. Just kidding. This is the official winner from our sweepstakes company for our 2020 Supra. You can open this one.
Oh, I've never opened one.
Let's see who it is.
I never opened an envelope before.
God. Drum roll, please.
Oh, I read the whole paper. Hopefully his name's still on here.
Right there.
Wow.
Right
Wow.
there.
You really got
the winner is
Enrique Ibanez.
Hey!
Wow.
You just won a Supra.
Holy cow, man. So he bought some wheels.
Method wheels.
And it looks like, I don't know what this
looks like
is.
a lift kit.
2-wheel drive, 5-lug performance system. Yeah, a lift kit for the rear or something.
There we go. Let's give him a call.
Supra winner.
Call me back. Oh, hello? All right, Enrique didn't answer, so I'm sending him a text. I'm saying, it's Evan from throtl. I have a question for you about your order. Can you call me back ASAP? All right, so a few minutes have passed. Enrique just FaceTimed me. I missed the call, so we're gonna FaceTime him again. Enrique!
What's going on?
What's up,
What's up,
man?
man?
How are you?
Good, yourself?
Good, I got the whole team here. We got something very exciting to tell you.
It can only mean one thing, bro.
What?
You're the winner of the 2020 Street Hunter Supra.
Okay.
You're the winner, dude.
I thought this was a spam.
No, it's real, bro.
I saw the message, I'm like, they're playing with me.
Congratulations, dude.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so you bought some Method wheels. I saw you join throtlVIP.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's real, it's happening. You are the winner. You're being recorded right now. And yeah, after we get off the phone, pretty simple. I'll send you some information via text. We'll get you all coordinated out to pick up your new Supra right here. Congratulations to Enrique. As I mentioned, now that this sweepstakes is over, the GTR is next. And as much as I'm gonna be really sad to see it go personally, I know it's gonna go to an awesome home, and we're very excited to meet you, Enrique. Thank you guys so much for anyone who participated in the sweepstakes, and thank you to all our VIP members. Now enjoy the rest of the video.
Today we're going to be working on the Eclipse. I'm just finishing up, kind of buttoning up and cleaning up the brake line routing for our ABS delete kit, and now we're going to be mounting the reservoirs. We have a set of beautiful Wilwood plastic reservoirs. The initial idea was to run 3, but unfortunately due to the clutch height that the master cylinder feeds from, it's not going to be feasible. We just don't have enough hood clearance, so the hood's going to sit up about here. The OE reservoir feeds from that height, and our Wilwoods feed from way down here. So unfortunately the feed is right there, and having a Wilwood, it's just gonna sit too tall because you want the spout to feed above the reservoir, so they're just a little bit too tall. We are gonna be running 2 for the brake master, which is actually a pretty trick idea because the master actually has 2 independent feeds from here, and they just run into one reservoir in a factory setup. I thought it would be cool to have 2 reservoirs feeding the master. So I'm gonna make a bracket for this, get this mounted up. So we are gonna be running 2, and then I have a replacement one coming for this, so we don't have this brown faded old plastic, and we're gonna have some fresh new plastic. I also secured our line kit with some brake line clips. We're not hitting the steering rack, and everything looks a lot nicer and cleaner. So let's get to jamming.
Up a quick little cardboard template. Actually, maybe we just use this, Quinn, it'd be quicker.
Just cardboard it.
So as Quinn was saying, he was actually working on this. I sort of took over because there's a million things to do on this car. And I enjoy fab work, so you guys can see what we're doing here. Essentially making a standoff that's gonna bolt into the factory location for our factory bracket. It's gonna hold both of these guys off of the firewall. And then, you know, we'll dress up a little dimple die in the center just to strengthen it up a little bit. We're gonna use some 16 gauge steel, get it prepped up, and then we'll go ahead and paint it black and make it disappear, but it'll look cool nonetheless. And it'll hold both of our little reservoirs, so should be good to go. Now we can put the nutserts, and I think that's pretty good. We got a little bit of a bend here, but we can hit that with the sand hammer and straighten it out. I think it'll do just good. Oh, we gotta drill our holes for the mount, but we got enough material. We can put this in the vise now, and man, it's good and strong. Feel that thing. All right, I got 4 nutserts to toss in. We're gonna do M6s on here so we can run some Downstar hardware. I'm gonna go ahead and pop these in, and then we'll drill the holes for the mounting tabs, and then we'll show you guys how this works out.
So we want to put the battery back down there, tucked up on the subframe, but this is too wide to get in between the motor mount and the frame. So we're gonna have to make some adjustments to this to make it fit. So we have the motor mount on the right and the frame on the left, and it's just a little bit too wide for that. So it's the next day, guys. We got the battery mount finished. We got the brake reservoir mounted, done. The bracket looks incredible. Now we just need to run fluid lines from our reservoirs to the master. So I'm gonna figure that out real quick. That shouldn't take too long. Also, we made some adjustments to our upper hose spout. So we changed the angle on that. So now our angle isn't crazy out. So we can run a 90 off the spout, and that's gonna go pretty much straight into our 45 on the radiator. You gotta put this back on. so we've got our reservoir lines ran. So I put a little bit of grease, this was Mick's idea, to put a little grease on the top here because we don't have enough clearance on our hood. So we're gonna shut the hood, find out where the point is of contact. All right, so we've got one center point there, and then the other one just barely touched. So those are gonna be where our two holes are. So I'm actually gonna take the hood off and hole saw it here, and then we're gonna leave the hood off until we're almost done with the engine stuff. We installed our hood struts, which work very well, but they do not go up high enough. It's kind of a bear to work with the engine with the hood on the way it is. So when the car is done, it won't be an issue, but it is an issue right now because we have to work on it. So we're gonna take this off, and then the hood probably won't be going back on for a little while. All right, so while I was tidying up the brake system, another part for the engine that I've been waiting on just showed up. So this is a new oil filter housing that's gonna be replacing our factory 4G631. This is an Evo 3 housing meant for the 4G63, the 7-bolt DSM engines. What this filter housing is going to allow us to do is to run AN lines in and out of the filter housing instead of the liquid cooler. So the factory 4G has just a filter housing with no cooler attachment, and then the cooler attachment is actually this sandwich plate here. So this is the engine oil cooler out of the factory, and it uses engine coolant to cool. It's a very efficient way to do it, but it doesn't really look very good. You have coolant lines, everything's tucked. What you don't get is these AN lines with a beautiful cooler out front, and it also spaces the oil filter back. So by going to this new unit, we're gonna be able to run -10 lines, a beautiful cooler. It's gonna space the oil filter a little bit back, and it's also gonna simplify the cooling system. So some of these coolant lines and hard lines can be deleted along with the associated hoses that go along with it, which is gonna really clean up the underside. It's gonna make servicing a lot nicer, and it's a much more presentable component than the factory sandwich plate cooler is. This is also the piece that I've been waiting for to install our alternator. So once that's on, because the alternator sits right above here and kind of swings off, it'd be a lot easier to service with the alternator off. So I just didn't put it back on, so we can put that back on, and then we can tackle our belts. So I've got our coolant line that we need to take off loose. I'm not gonna pull it off now because we need to pull the turbo off in order to deal with this. So we're gonna be hard mounting, much like they did on the FRUK, kind of a pipe that comes down. And then we have those wicked Mishimoto clamps that are gonna hold this entire intercooler piping system together. But anyways, we got our new filter housing on. It looks super mad. I love it, very simple. It's got our AN line just right up front, looks fantastic versus the old crusty one. I've got a new pressure sensor coming. Got a beautiful K&N filter, and I also got our alternator on and attached with the belt. This is what I'm talking about, ultimate simplicity. Crank, water pump, alternator, that's it. Nothing else to go wrong. It is super simple, and I freaking love it. All right, so yesterday we got our oil filter housing installed and dialed in. Today we're gonna start mounting our new Hayden oil cooler. So this is going to be a fantastic piece. We're gonna stick it right up front here in the bumper. We do need to figure out mounts. It has this super flimsy mount. We're not gonna use that at all. We're gonna go ahead and create our own mounts. I need to get the bumper on first, figure out where we're gonna be, and then we'll start making our mounts from there. So this spot is gonna be perfect because our AN line's from the cooler right there. It's gonna be very short and sweet for our lines. Just like Ricky. Just like Ricky. Ah! Got him. Let's get to it. Kind of idea me and Ricky are spitballing right now. The problem is that we have intercooler piping.
And we literally just threw this here. We don't even know if this is gonna be where the pipe is gonna be at. But if we trim this bracket brace right here, it'll come in further to the right. And if we trim these both braces at the bottom, it'll allow us to go a little bit lower. Cut this off. We can do a brace here and a brace here. And then the lines can just do 90-90 to 45 and 45 here, and it would be a straight shot. I think it'll work perfect. How does it look in the front? I can't even see.
It looks good in the front.
It does. Yeah. See, it'll be lower and it'll be more to the left. So I think we'll be able to get full mesh for the cool down. So we'll get proper cool down. Yo, this thing is solid. Look at that.
That movement is in the chassis, not in the mounts. Look at that right there.
Bomb, dog.
That's the shot. We got our mounts dialed in. This thing doesn't want to move, which is good. Now we got to clean it up and make the mounts not look like hot garbage, and then we'll be done with the cooler on the suspension. We got the subframe back. We finished painting it. We saw your comments about painting it blue, and the answer is no, we want it white. There are gonna be other blue things on the car and other white things on the car, and we just haven't put them on yet, so just wait. Trust the process, guys. So we're gonna start throwing the subframe back in.
Charged.
Get back in the office. Back in. We gotta put the diff in, then this is gonna go back up, and then we can start slamming all of our control arms and all that good stuff on.
Like someone who has no idea what the hell that is.
It's actually pretty simple.
How do you explain it?
The short answer is you have an input shaft here, and then you have a little gear that spins a bigger gear, and the gear is coming this way and the other gear is going this way. And so this gear twists and this gear twists like that, and then it rotates the carrier inside of here, which you have axles that come out the spline section. And then so it takes power inputting this way and makes it go that way. That's the simple answer.
All right, right, so I've been working on this thing in the last couple of hours, and we have the sub enclosure finally semi-finished with the body filler. It's complete, it's super strong. It's got the body filler on it. So this thing we're actually gonna send out to paint, I believe. That's the artwork that I got from Mickey. So I'm done for now. The body shop is gonna finish the rest of it. I pretty much just did 70% of the work. They'll do the last 30. And then right here we have the amp holder, the amp enclosure holder. So I'm gonna wrap this thing with suede, with gray suede. That's gonna get painted, and since that's gonna be gone for a few days, I'm gonna put this thing in the car, and I'm probably gonna end up putting the amplifier right now in there. So we have finally reached the point that I can mount the amp on his final location. Finally finished all the wiring. I have the wiring just zip tied right here because I don't want it falling inside again. And this thing is going to be mounted just like so. Alright, so you guys can see I just finished mounting the kicker amp in there in the corner, and it's looking really neat. It is completely bolted down. This is going to be this final state. I left the bottom compartment open, and that's open so we can tune the amp once everything is in. We're supposed to receive the stereo sometime today, so as soon as it comes in, I'll plug it in and then we'll see how it sounds.
Dave, you want to come out here?
Hey, put it away.
Yeah, you're gonna get couch alert for that one.
Yo!
Alright guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the big bottle of Coca-Cola in here, and then I'm gonna get my son Anthony, and we're gonna teach him how to drive stick, because he's gonna drift.
Oh, I forgot to say pero-like. Pero-like.
Pero-like.
Yo, I didn't know you guys. Ricky swapped
TJS,
an Eclipse.
muy bueno, maestro de español, y...
Me gusta.
Why isn't this thing running yet, dude? I would have had this running like a month ago.
We just put the diff back.
Whoa, what is this, a monitor stand? You guys making
Yo, this is actually dope.
You guys
gotta
actually
talk to me
stand?
like that, Ricky.
So when you guys go through a drive-through and you're trying to eat lunch, like,
Yeah, you pop it in there.
Yeah.
Look at this. Someone left this
you're
unplugged.
just breaking things.
Look at this. You got this, dude. Quinn quality. Let's. Where did you learn how to do this?
Child labor when I was very young. The cartel had me.
Is that so?
No.
Me and Ricky both have an odd background of working
is, though,
in car audio shops.
The longer you know them,
I
the
don't
more
tell people
layers
that.
get like peeled.
They're like, oh yeah, back in 1993, I worked for a year or two in auto car shop.
World.
I actually went to a school to learn. I already own I used to own an auto shop.
What?
See, where did that
I
come
didn't
from?
know that.
See?
Nobody.
He could be lying at this point. We're like, oh wow, that's cool.
No, I swear. It was called SWAT shop.
It's called what?
SWAT shop.
SWAT shop?
Stereo wheels, accessories, and tune-ups.
Special weapons and tactics?
No.
Yesterday we got our oil cooler dialed in, mounted. Now we're gonna move our attention back to the rear end. So the subframe and diff we put in yesterday, now we should be able to start buttoning up the actual rear end of the car. Getting our axles in, getting our control arms back on, getting the struts back on. Hopefully by the end of the day, we could actually properly air this car out and see what the actual lowered height is going to be, which is gonna be super awesome. In addition to that, we also should be able to put our center drive shaft in, which is going to be awesome. With the center drive shaft in, the powertrain will be pretty much complete. The drivetrain from the engine all the way to the rear wheels. So the transmission, clutch, All of that stuff will be complete, which is pretty exciting. And that's a big step to getting this thing running and driving. We're gonna get these axles in, we'll start getting the control arms knocked out, and then hopefully we should be able to air this thing out. It'll be sick. Let's get started. So we just found the drive shaft. This thing is pretty crusty, so Ricky and I are gonna clean it, and then into the car it goes.
Oh, is it time now? Is it time?
Yeah. Yep. It's time. I'm very excited for this.
I see you hooking up lines and this. That can only mean one thing, bro.
Means we're gonna air this mud out.
Final test.
We're gonna find out right now. I would also like to reiterate, these are not the wheels we're going to be running on the car. We're getting HREs made for this. We're getting different offset wheels and different size wheels, but this is going to, the up and down should be the same. So,
All right, we're ready.
I was not straight anymore. No, it's straight.
Dude,
That
let's check out the other tire.
Yeah.
We're
I did some calculating and turns out I'm really bad at math. But
right where it needed to go.
that is perfect. That is perfect.
Beauty.
Fantastic. Before it wouldn't even tuck the tire. So you had tires sticking through.
Damn, bro.
Hell yeah.
God damn, that looks so good.
That could not have gone any better, being honest.
We're not even done. We got a lot of body stuff to do. Just go through the car for everything that I did, right? So we put speakers and tweeters in the front doors. On the kick panels, we put 2 more speakers, and on top of the dash, we did 2 more tweeters. When you go to the back, we did 1 custom amplifier mount, and then we installed the amplifier, and then we built 1 custom box enclosure for our 10-inch, which is currently was sent out to get painted. I ran all the wiring for this thing, and that's it. I'm gonna give it to Quinn now.
All right, so just a recap of what you guys saw in this episode. Mickey and I got our ABS delete finished with our new Willwood reservoirs. Mickey did a killer job fabricating the bracket and just getting everything tucked away, as well as getting lines secured. So from there, Mickey moved on to securing our Optima battery. He modified the battery mount, got that situated. I moved on, got our new oil filter housing for an Evo 3 set up. So that is gonna allow us to run AN lines for a air to oil cooler for the engine. From there, I got the alternator secured, we got our belts on, and then from there, we started jamming on the subframe. So we got our suspension system dialed in, our new subframe has been modified to make it sit as low as it does, and then we buttoned everything back up. So the subframe went back in, diff. We got pretty much all of the suspension finished. So all of our control arms are on, the struts are dialed back in, and we finished our powertrain. So the drive shaft is back in, axles are back in. We shouldn't have to touch the drivetrain or suspension from here on out, other than replacing fluids in the diff, the transmission, stuff like that. So we do still have to do brakes, but the suspension should pretty much be finished for this car, which is awesome. It's a killer step. It's a really big progress in getting this thing back up and going. So now we have all of our axles. So when we get the engine running, we can just drive it. So it'll be awesome. There's a lot of content still to come for this car. As you guys can tell, it's not complete yet. We still have a long way to go, but we're ticking off those systems that we need to get this thing done. So I'm very excited. We're hitting milestones for this car. It's going very well. This build is coming together super fast, which is awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Comment on how you guys think this build is going, and we'll see you guys in the next one.